Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen. My name is Evenlease, and today on 10 Minutes More or Less Ship Review, right behind me, the MISC Starfarer Gemini. Let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, welcome back to another review, and thank you to the team today for piloting, manning the turrets, as well as checking out the ship with me. It's been a fantastic time, and I appreciate all of your help. Now, looking at this ship here, the MISC Starfarer Gemini, the military variant of this ship, which we should see during Invictus on MISC's Day. Due to that fact, this thing is a beast. It is huge, and it's considered a refueling ship as well as a fuel refining ship. So let's go ahead and dive into that. This ship is $340 if you were to buy it on the Pledge Store, or if you buy it in game, it is $14,994,000 aUEC, which is honestly pretty decent price for what this ship can do. Now, you got to ask yourself, well, can this ship's refueling services really be used right now? And yes, it can. It does work, as you see on screen. We did refuel this Gladius, even though it really didn't need too much. You can still do that, but currently out there in Stanton and in Pyro, there's really no reason to honestly need this ship. Only when you have specific bugs that take away your fuel and then you get stranded is typically when you'd call this ship into place, just because you really don't run out of fuel often. It's a pretty hard task to achieve because you jump around from station, planet, pad, all these types of things, and you usually refuel. So no problems there. Now, this ship does have a 35-minute and 20-second claim time, or if you were to expedite it, it is 11 minutes and 46 seconds, which is honestly pretty high up there, but it's a big ship, and you know, it's not really a ship you're going to be claiming and really needing to get back out there as soon as possible. It's not a combat ship, even though it does have the ability to take place in combat. Well, more or less protect itself. You know, it's not really meant to go out there and hunt bounties, but if someone was hunting you, you at least have the firepower on there to go ahead and protect yourself, which is pretty cool. Speaking of that, the pilot does have 2,376 damage per second due to the 4 size 4 M6A laser cannons. And then you also have 3 manned turrets on this ship outputting 2,262 damage per second. And that's due to the 2 size 5 CF557 Galderines on the top of the ship, and then at the very back of the ship, you have 4 size 3 CF337 Panthers, which, like I said, turret firepower, pilot firepower, this thing is phenomenal. You're able to protect yourself, but when then you look at speed and maneuverability, and you're like, no, about that too much, because if a ship gets in certain angles, it's just doom and gloom for anybody flying this thing, but we'll talk about that here in a second. You also have 9 size 3 Arrestor 3 missiles on this ship, and that's something you don't have on the regular Starfarer, which is pretty cool. You do have 9 of those, and as you can see, you know, they shoot right off the nose of this ship. It looks like a cool little area there, and it even looks like it has 2 little doors, but I don't know how to close that if you can right now. But either way, it does have the firepower, which is really nice, so that's awesome, and I will definitely notate that. And then if you do get attacked and you're not relying on those turrets, because there's a good chance you don't have them manned, right? Or if you're flying this solo, you don't have them manned at the time, maybe the crew's eating or something, you got to rely on your shield. You do have 3 size 3 shield generators outputting 190,200 quadrant shield, which is honestly, if you ask me, awesome. That is a great amount of shield to keep up and not have to worry about, you know, hitting the hull too much. And what else can you ask for, right? Until you can jump on out of there, hopefully not getting intervened by a, you know, Mantis or a QI of some sort, because that would just be a terrible situation, and it would just be a no-win scenario for you as well, due to the lack of your speed, which we're going to get to in just a moment. Before we do, let's talk about its health pool. You do have 77,359 ship HP, which is considerably a lot, but it's also not, because it's a big ship. There's a lot of parts on here, so that HP is spread about quite a bit. So honestly, you can't take too much damage after your shield drops before you start, becoming a crucial situation of getting the heck out of your ship, or you die, right? So you wouldn't want that. Now, like I was saying, this ship has a very slow speed to it, very terrible maneuverability. You have 106 SCM as your top speed with a 295 forward boost and a 106 backwards boost with a top nav speed of 845, which what that means for you is no matter what's attacking you, they're going to be faster than you. So if you're not being interdicted, there's a good chance you'll survive, but if you're being interdicted, there is no escape. So your best bet is to park it, get out of that pilot seat, and get ready for a defensible position, or just get out of the ship altogether, because it's not going to be a fun time. Now, your maneuverability sits at a 23, 23, 45 pitch yaw roll, or a 28, 28, 54 boosted pitch yaw roll, which you would think is okay, and it is, because it's not a ship meant to go out there, doing all these wacky maneuvers, especially when you got these 6 detachable fuel tanks on here. That would just be insane, and especially if you're in atmosphere. The last thing you want to do is watch your ship explode into a billion pieces. But that maneuverability, not so great. And then you have 50 flares and 20 decoys on this ship for your countermeasures, so not too high, but it's still nice that it is there. I do like that. So if you have any missiles coming away, hopefully you can avoid those and jump on out of that situation. Now, you do have 652.2 SCU of hydrogen fuel. I like how it says 0.2. Like, okay, I don't know the point of the 0.2, but sure. 652 SCU of hydrogen fuel, which is quite insane. And then you have 8.6 SCU of quantum fuel. You're going to be able to jump around quite a bit before you need to refuel yourself. Or honestly, like I said, this ship can collect raw gases and make it into usable fuel by refining it on board. So hopefully you'll be able to pipe that in through your systems, keeping you online for as long as you need, which would be truly amazing. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at this ship's interior, and I'm going to tell you this ship's interior is a maze. So you're going to watch me run around and probably make this a 30-minute video, and I do apologize for that. The only ground entrance is right here in the middle of the ship. Yes, I said the middle of the ship. If I were to turn around, you'd walk right down this area, and there you go. You would enter your ship. So you'd bring down this ramp. You could probably fit a couple small vehicles up this ramp and in here, or you have the ability to store 291 SCU of cargo here on the grid, which is quite fantastic if you ask me. So if you're not delivering fuel, you can deliver cargo. And if you're not delivering cargo, you can deliver pizzas. And if you're not doing that, you can definitely go out there and try to bounty hunt with this ship. But I don't advise doing that if your tanks are fully loaded. It's probably not going to be a good time. Now, when you are in here in this cargo hold, as you can see, there's a lot of nice MISC paneling around, nothing accessible. The ship doesn't have too much for its gold standard or its components pass at this time. And then you also have 6 jump seats here and 6 jump seats over here. Now, one of the biggest things I noticed with this ship is it's a massive nightmare when you have people on board, because you tend to run into each other. You get clipped through walls, you get killed, you end up just a part of the whole ship itself, because even barely touching somebody, we got clipped through the walls multiple times. So be very careful. Make sure you're walking, or generally just have someone sit down and then you move through, and then you sit down and follow that same procedure. First, we're going to take a look at this door here and see what's behind this door. If you go ahead and walk through, more paneling that you cannot access, more paneling you cannot access. You got 5, 1, 2, 3 looking door areas here, even though I think these are just like collar points, no actual closing door, which is good. Thankful for that. And then if you enter here, you do have a door with, of course, your suit locker, a little medical area, which you cannot access at this point in time. And then, of course, another suit locker and a area to get out of the ship right here. This is one of your docking collars, and that is an area to leave via EVA, or, if you're docked with a docking collar, which does not work currently at this time on this ship. Now, let's go ahead and make our way back through this door, and as you can see, you have a nice area up top, and that's where you're going to be spending the most of your time, is on that level. So we walk through this door here, and then you make a right turn. You're going to go up these steps here. Not a ladder, not an elevator, woohoo, but don't be afraid. There's multiple elevators on this ship, so it's too bad, right? Now, let's go ahead and take a look down these tunnels first. If you make your way through this door here and then through this area, this takes you back outside and onto the area where you can check on your fuel tanks here, take a look at the system, see how much fuel you have in them. This one is 33% full of quantum, and you can just kind of go around taking a look, see what we have, and you can also operate the system from right here at this terminal. So pretty cool, gotta love that. We'll make our way back through this door here, and like I said, we came from right here. We're gonna go ahead and go this way really quick and take a look right on over here. As you can see, more paneling, very MISC in nature. Very, seems like dirty, but also clean at the same time. And then if you make your way through here, it's about to become a big old maze, I'm gonna tell you. So this pathway here is the same pathway we were just on. So we just came up over here, and then you can go through this door and come this way. Now this ladder does take you to the 3rd floor, which we'll check out here in just a moment. It's just one of the ways you can go on up if the elevators aren't working at the time. First, we're going to go all the way down this hallway, make our way over here, and as you can see, the 3rd floor, stairs, gotta love it, making our way on up. And then if you make a left turn, here is a lift access, which you can go ahead and call using the button here on the side, and it'll take you, where you need to go, or you have a little ladder access here as well. But before we do that, let's make our way this way. Man, I'm already getting confused. Right here's the stairs we just came up. So we go through this door here, and we make our way. This is like a little area that you're going to have components and stuff in. It's going to be a very knock your head area. You're going to have components here. You're going to be working, and then you're going to bang your head on this all the time. It's going to be a very frustrating experience. This ship needs an interior redo. I swear it does. Hopefully it'll get that, but it's a very big doubt. You do have a couple escape pods here at the back, because on the back here, if you continue on through the very long hallway, another area for components and knocking your heads in, it's not going to be fun. And then you make your way through here. This is where you're going to have one of your turrets here. You would go ahead and hop in, and that takes you to your size 3 CF337 Panthers there, and it kind of flips you over and drops you down. You know what? I'll give you one quick view with this turret, and then I'm not going to show you the other side. Whoa, that's nerve-wracking. I don't think I'd ever want to be in this turret in real life at all. That's just frightening. It reminds me of I'd just get sick flying in this thing permanently in real life. Like, no thank you. I'd rather take the top turret with the size 5s, right? So this is duplicated on the other side right there, which we'll take a look down the hallway, but no need to run down there, right? It's the same thing, so not a worry there. Now let's take our way through this door. More component areas, but no access. Too bad. And then if you look through here, very nice, very nice. Okay, and here is what looks to be a gravity generator or a power system of some sort. It is pretty neat. If it's a gravity generator, it ain't rotating, and these computer screens don't tell you much either. So, and then you walk through this door, and you have yourself some suit lockers, as well as no real true need for them. And yeah, it's just a very interesting area. Oh, this is an elevator, so that'll take you on down. There's just so many different elevators and stuff. You got 2 of them, so one right here, one over here, and then of course the suit lockers here. So you can get suited up and then go down an elevator, and we'll check that out here in just a little bit. But then I think that was the elevator I saw just a minute ago, actually. If you make your way through here, this is one of your engineering rooms where you're going to be taking a look at your engine system. You're not going to be able to actually work on any of it just because you can't get back there. It's more for show, like this is just a museum piece. You're like, wow, what a great engine, but now I can't get back to work on it. So no go there, which is honestly too bad. And then, of course, more component areas. You got your knock your knee fire extinguisher, which is pretty nice. You're going to really love that moment. This is where you're going to hide some of your bodies if you need to. And that's a pretty nice little area right here. Now, if you make your way over here, of course, 2 more escape pods, and then that turret that I was talking about, same hallway, you go on down on the left. There are other component areas with the red rooms of death, which is pretty nice. Now, if we turn around and walk through this door, another red room here where you can knock your head around and try to repair stuff. And this actually goes into a little crawl space here, and you can go over there to another room, which this is just a very frightening experience of a ship to be engineering on, let alone pretty much any other crew. It's like terrifying. I would not want to work in any of this. This just looks terrifying. I feel like it definitely needs a little bit of a refresh, right? Let's take this ladder really quick. I'm getting lost already. This is seriously, you could have an FPS battle in here and be hiding around. So when you go up here, this should take you over to your, okay, all right. So this is your size 5 gun here. So this takes you to the galleries. This goes up, and we'll take a quick peek at this turret since this? No, I'm not going to try it. Now over here is another elevator and a ladder, which again, I want to take these points, but now we're up here. So let's just take a quick look. This is going to be your habitation area. So this is where your crew lives, sleeps, does everything they need to do before they go down to the rest of the ship, spending an hour getting to their stations. So you have a nice kitchen area here. It's very MISC, very needing a refresh and update. And then you have a nice little seating area right here with a little bit of windows. You got the Starlancer vibe here with the slit windows on the top of the roof. And then if you make your way through here, this is the commander's quarter. So this is where you're going to have the captain or your commander, and this is where they're going to be staying. They have all sorts of neat little things here. A very green screen area here. And then, of course, you got the captain's bed with the cute little sheets here. Very, very cute. And then you have a nice little bathroom here with a toilet, shower, and your sink. But no way to give you any privacy, not even a way to put up a privacy curtain, which is honestly just too bad. But that's where that is. There's literally no doors here. So if you don't lock that door, you're in for a very rude awakening. Very rude awakening. Now, as you can see, if we make our way back this way, let's see here. This is the route I came from, so that ladder there. So if we make our way across the room here, this is where your crew sleeps. There is zero privacy in this ship. Your crew just knows each other. They came from the same family tree or something, because they are bed. They're a foot and a half away from each other, and there's just zero privacy and no way to store your gear at this current time, as well as a lot of kick your legs and rack your shin devices on the ground. Oof, this ship, it's in a tough state if you were living on this ship. And then you have a nice bench here that you cannot currently access, but a nice little window. I like windows. We need more windows. And then you have a couple more benches here in your shower and bathroom area. You only have one toilet here and one toilet there, as well as a shower there and a shower there. So for this massive amount of crew, you're going to have to very, very much so not take your time and get in and get out, because there's going to be other people waiting. Now, over here, of course, again, the elevator, the ladder, but we're going to go back the route we came so we don't get any more lost than we already are. So again, this was in one of your component red rooms of death here. Let's go ahead and take our ladder down here. Let's take a look. Another ladder. So that's the one that goes where you would have that walkway that would take you over to the pilot. Oh, I'm getting sucked into the ladder here. Oh boy. And we'll go back out this door here and make a right turn, a little bit more component areas, some random monitors, some random screens. And then this is that lift that'll take you. Let me see here. Oh, I don't need to do that. Oh, I don't need to do that. Oh, the buttons are everywhere. So this just takes you up to the floor that we were at. So pretty interesting, pretty nice. And this ship is haunted, I swear. Now, if we make our way this way, this way. This is another lift access and ladder area, and it's very haunted, very, very haunted. I don't know why that lift this went up, but we're going to go ahead and head back down this stairway here, and we'll go to the pilot's area, which is, I believe, the last area on this ship. So let's go ahead and take a look. Now, we'll start from kind of the beginning here, just so you know where we're at. All right, so you make your way through the area there. That's the entry of the ship. You go over here, you go up that, through that door there. It'll take you up a stairway, which leads here. Then you make your way this way, and you're going to go through this. Nope. This door here, and you'll make a right turn here, and this leads you straight to the cockpit. Before you do, you have multiple escape pods here for the pilot and crew on this deck. Now you open this door, and here you are, a MISC ship indeed. You have an engineer station to your right. To your left, you can control the refueling and refining, and straight ahead, you have a captain's chair, which is just fantastic. More ships of, bigger sizes should have these seats here available to use. And then you have a pilot seat and a co-pilot seat, which honestly, none of these seats control any weapons on this ship other than the pilot seat controlling the guns on the side and the missiles. So I don't honestly see a point to having so many chairs in here. Honestly, if you're asking me, the Gemini should get a turret on the bottom of the nose, and make it remote controlled by this seat, and that would help differentiate it from the regular Starfarer as well. Adding even more armament to this ship would not be a terrible idea given the fact that it is the military variant. Now I'm going to get into this pilot seat really quick and show you this dash. It's not too far from the Starlancer. You do have a football field of a dashboard here. And then if you look to your left, and you look to your right, it's very mail slot, but it's not too terrible. Like I said, it's a ship made to go out there and do these services and stuff. It's not a combat ship, so you shouldn't expect to have, a million different views, and that's a-okay in my opinion. So let's talk about my score here. And honestly, this ship gets an 85 out of 100 from me because it is a great ship. You can do a multitude of things with it, from cargo delivery to fuel delivery to collecting gases and refining fuel. If that's not something you can do right now, you'll definitely be able to do it in the future, which is truly amazing. And that's going to make this ship a necessity out there. And someday, fuel might not be as easy to come by, or it just will be a lot harder in a lot bigger distances, allowing these ships to become a lot more useful. But even right now, you crew this thing or you don't crew this thing, it's a pretty decent ship. You just got to, really take a look at that speed and maneuverability, because it is not going to help you out of any situation. Now with that, let me know what you think of the Starfarer Gemini here down in the comments below. I'd really appreciate you guys' comments. I always read them. It's a fantastic time. You guys are truly amazing. Thank you so much. And with that, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for being members out there, Patreon, YouTube members, everything. I truly appreciate it. Let's have a great Invictus. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.
This is so I hope that's decent.